Hi, my salty pecans. Happy Friday! HauzPlant and Cocktails Friday. How is everyone? Let me know if you can see me. Oh my gosh, my eyes look so brown today. Hi, everyone. Can you all see me? Let me know. Let me know. I can't believe it is yet another Friday. I cannot believe it. But we made it. Let me just see if the sounds are good. I don't know if the sound, if you all can hear me. Hi, Miss Lady June. How are you? Happy Friday. Oh my goodness. Hi, Deborah. How are you both? Okay, give me 1 second. I realized I just forgot an ingredient in the fridge that's cooling down. 1 second. Let's just let it back there. Okay. I'm back. How are you all? So it is yet another HauzPlant and Cocktails Friday Night Live. And sadly, tonight is the last Friday of September. So we're going to try to make the best that we can because that pretty much is like summer's over. Once summer's over, then that's it. Oh, thank you, Deb. Thank you. Put a little lipstick. Give myself, a little gel down the edges. Oh, not the gel trying to make me look like I got dandruff. Thank you. But yeah, my eyes are like super brown today. But tonight, let me try to see if I could actually get the proper name of tonight's HauzPlant and Cocktail. So here's a little quick story. The other day, I'm looking down because I'm trying to see if I can get the cocktail name that I sent to you all, or that I'm making today. So early in the week, I went on Amazon and I purchased a couple of ingredients for my spooky Halloween cocktails that I wanted to make. And one of the main ingredients came in, but it was not the color that it was supposed to be. So I have to like completely scrap that whole drink, which is fine because I actually have a list of cocktails options that, I've been looking around that I wanted to make. So tonight, let me just quickly pull up the name. I guess I X'd out the name when I shouldn't have. Let me see. But in the meanwhile, let me see. Cosmopolitan. That's where I seen that that drink. Let me quickly scroll fast as I can. Let's see. All right, this is called the Vampire's Kiss cocktail. So tonight, HauzPlant and Cocktail mix is called the Vampire's Kiss cocktail, and it contains hibiscus, mezcal, some hibiscus syrup, and some champagne to just top it. Okay. So I have everything behind me. I actually had to pre-make my hibiscus syrup today. So all you need is just like hibiscus. If you've ever made sorrel, if you've ever made hibiscus juice, if you're like Hispanic, it's called like agua de Jamaica, all of that. So that's what I made. So I don't know, I'm blanking. So I have my hibiscus syrup right here that I've made. I put it in the fridge to cool down so I could use for the cocktail. And am I a dodo bird? I feel like a dodo bird. I forgot to take ice. I definitely forgot to take ice. It didn't say add ice though. But I'm gonna just add ice because I think I want it a little chilled. I don't want like a room temperature drink. I want a chilled drink. Give me a second. Yet again. Jamaica. So, and fun fact, hibiscus is actually Haiti's national flower. So, shout out to my country and shout out to hibiscus for being the first beauty to actually be an ingredient for tonight's cocktail. Hi, Ruth. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you don't know what hibiscus is, let me show you all. You can get hibiscus from like your grocery shop. Most likely, I don't know if every grocery shop sells it. So check, multiple shops if you can't find it at one. But this is essentially hibiscus flower, right? So you have the hibiscus flower, and essentially I just made a syrup out of it. So let's get on to making our cocktail. Hi, CJ. Me? Me running on CBT? Never. What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? Let's move our cocktail station over closer to you. Wait, what just fell? Nothing breakable. Oh, that scared me too. Oh my gosh. I need a better set, don't I? I need a better set. I need to have like a cocktail cart that just rolls, but I don't want anything that, is going to just stay in place and take up a bunch of space. So I need something that's rolled, that's collapsible, which is why I like this folding tray. So let's redo our intro, okay? Pretend this is like elevator intro music. Audience goes. Oh, actually, this is cute. I was watering a plant, but we'll just do this because this is HauzPlant and cocktails, actually. So, oh, this is cute. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. I have to like feature a plant on my table. Oh, Pam. So, hi, my salty pecans, and welcome to tonight's HauzPlant and cocktails portion of our live. Tonight, we are going to be making a vampire's kiss. And to make a vampire's kiss, you're going to actually just need some hibiscus syrup. I made my own hibiscus syrup, and the easiest way to make syrup is 1 part sugar, 1 part water, and you let it reduce to thicken. And as the water was boiling, I added my hibiscus. I let it just like remove all the juiciness from the hibiscus flower itself. And like I showed earlier, this is hibiscus flower. So I let that cool down. You're also going to need 1/2 part of lemon to the 1/2 part of hibiscus syrup. We're going to need 1 part mezcal, and I'm going to use the Monte Alban mezcal. And this mezcal, I actually got it from Mexico, and this is the one that has like the worm at the bottom. So this is the mezcal I'm going to be using, and you're going to just top it up with some champagne or prosecco, which is what I'm just going to be using. And of course, for your supplies, you're going to be needing a champagne flute. You'll need a knife to cut your lime or lemon in this case. And you're just going to need like your little squeezer to squeeze your lemon. And you're going to need your cocktail shaker and just your measuring situation. So let's get into making our vampire's kiss. So it calls for 1 part of mezcal to half a part of lime, lemon, and half a part of hibiscus syrup. So let's do that. Fun fact, mezcal is actually my most favorite type of spirit. So mezcal and tequila are really like toe-to-toe. But the older I'm getting, the more I'm like, I really am enjoying the smokiness of mezcal. I'm gonna take my lemon. And I'm just gonna turn it over to this side so I could do the half. Okay. This is a half part of lemon juice. To a half part of hibiscus syrup. And we just cap it. If you're enjoying the cocktail shaking portion of the live, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. All right. So the recipe does call for us to place a candied hibiscus inside. So I'm just going to be lazy and I'm using the hibiscus that I used to actually turn this into the syrup. So this is just already like candied in itself. And yeah, now we're just going to go ahead and pour our vampire's kiss. And we just top it off with a little bit of champagne. To give it a little bubbling. And voila. Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binaries, this is a vampire's kiss. Cheers! Yes. Come here, Count Dracula. Mmm. Mmm. Yes. That's delicious. Delicious. So that concludes the cocktail portion of tonight's live. Again, we made a vampire's kiss. Very simple, very easy. It's honestly what, one, two, a three and a half ingredient cocktail, depending on if you want to top it off with the champagne, which is necessary. But if you want to make something really easy, you just need some lemon, mezcal, and hibiscus syrup, and that's it. So yay! All right, let's move this back. And I'm just gonna go ahead and cap the syrup like so. Since I'm not rushing to put it in the fridge, I'm just gonna cover it up. Et puis, that's it. Nous fini. All done. All done, everybody. We're done. Oh my gosh. Let me go through these comments. There's a lot of comments. Okay, y'all. Let me get through these. Okay. I said, hi, CJ. Welcome, welcome. Ruth has some hibiscus tea. I love hibiscus. I love to make my own just like hibiscus juice, right? So add a lot more ingredients. Like I put some cinnamon sticks. I put like star anise, some ginger. When I make my hibiscus, oh, it's so bomb. So bomb. And I'm also finding that I'm really connecting to my roots even more when it comes to, I guess, what I'm consuming. So even now, I'm actually making more natural juices when I do want something sweet. For the most part, I would say like I'm a water girl, right? I drink water. Every now and then, I love me a good ginger ale. But when it comes to like wanting juices, instead of me like getting a 100% like pineapple juice from the store, I just go grab the same like pineapple, get like two pineapples, and like I just have 3-4 times that amount of juice, which is natural, versus getting something that's like packaged and it's perishable. And it's actually more cost efficient. But that's if you're someone who does not mind, taking the time to feed your body properly. Let me go ahead and do this. All right. Hi, Felix. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. CJ said, let me pour a glass of tequila and get ready for the ride. Yeehaw. Felix says, the Latin stores sell dried hibiscus in bags. I enjoy making hibiscus juice. It's so bomb. It is so bomb. So underrated. But the ones who know, the ones who get it, they're on it. All right, let's see. Hi, Melv. Melvin is in here. Melvin said he's sipping on Modelo. Ow. Get you that cerveza. Oh my gosh, yes. So Felix said it's raining a lot in New York today. It was raining insanely. So now that you actually mentioned it, I took some clips earlier while I was at work because I was working from home today. Thankfully, I was so happy that I was working from home today. But even working from home, like in the office I'm at right now, I do live in an older building. So because of that, the structure is not like the best. which means there is like leaking that happens. And of course, like the higher up you are, the worse the leaking gets because everything puddles up on the roof and just like comes straight down to you. So I was dealing with some of that mess this morning, and let me just show y'all. Hold on. Let's see. Sixth floor. Let's see. Is it's literally puddling in my entire apartment. What the actual F? And then I literally had to move all my other plants from here. This is the kitchen window now. Literally, the water is collecting, y'all. It's collecting. I'm trying to like use them to suck up what I can, but that shit is like coming from up here and it's like dripping. You see? And then I put the shirt to try and catch whatever is dripping and let it drip onto here, but annoying. So that's kind of what I was dealing with earlier today. Just like dripping from around like the perimeter of the windows. But that's something that happens every single year. Every year since I lived here, there's always been something that has to do with the walls, the roof. It's always something that's quintessential New York City living, apartment living, especially the older the building, there are certain things that are not up to date or up to code. And when you live in newer buildings, you basically live in a shoebox. So you got to pick or choose. Do you want to live in a shoebox, right? Or do you want to live in something a little more broke down? You got to pick or choose. But the rain has been insane. And depending on like also which area of New York you're living in, the flooding, crazy. I know like uptown flooding insanely. There's an area called like Park Slope in Brooklyn, flooding like crazy. Cars are stalling. The buses are getting flooded. Like the water, like on the big MTA buses, right? They're coming through the front, like so. I guess like through the vent of the bus, they're coming into the bus and just like flooding the bus, and like it's up to people's what like ankles, knees, the inside of a bus, which is crazy. And when I say like inside of a bus, like the buses are not low to the ground, So for the water to even like go up here to get inside this is how much inches and feet of water we got today. It's insane. Oh my gosh. Ooh, CJ, you got to eat the worm from the mezcal? How was that? My goodness, this is so good. This is so good. Oh, Count Dracula really kissed me tonight. All right, let's see. That's gonna be bum. Deb says, Felix, back in Nevada when I lived there in my 20s, my home got us so messed up. Oh my gosh. Only for young, wild, and real ones for real. LOL. Life with 6 kids. Do I have a Mandula pothos? I don't have a Mandula pothos, but I actually do have a global green. I don't have a Mandula, but I have a global green. I don't have a Mandula because they're pretty. I don't know why I don't have a Mandula. No, Deb. So we typically don't get this much rain. Believe it or not, all of this rain, like to the extent that it is, started in my memory 2020. Once like 2020, like September of 2020 came, June of 2021 was insane. So since 2020, for me, that's when I noticed just the weather pattern has just gotten even more crazy. Typically, things that never happen in New York are happening, just like with every other state I'm noticing. But it's just insane. And so Miss Lady June said East Coast just had a tropical storm going south to the north. Yeah, we did actually just deal with a tropical storm. So the past week has just been raining, like heavy downpour raining on and off. But it's not the raining that's really the issue, it's the flooding. Because we get rain all the time, but the fact that the irrigation system, the drainage system is not functioning like it needs to, so everything is just flooding. You're on the highways, you're on the expressways, the overpass, the underpass, everything is flooding, which really sucks. Cars are getting totaled, they're getting ruined. Homes are even like getting even worse. So we have to be careful outside right now. And around like September time, October, November is when it really like it's really really bad in New York City. We get hit with the leftover of the tropical storms, and it really hits us really bad here. You know what's kind of crazy? CJ said since 2020, you guys in New York have gotten more snow than us up here in Minneapolis. Love it. Believe it or not, it didn't snow at all last year. We didn't get any snow from winter 2022, spring 2023. No rain, no snow, no snow. And we live on the East Coast, so I don't think I've ever had a white Christmas ever since I've been in America. And I've been in America for 23 years now. So, wow. Ruth said the news said New York got a month of rain in one day. I believe it. I believe it. And of course, I'm one of those maniacs. I went out during like the rain to just get some fresh air, throw on my rain boots, throw on my poncho, got my umbrella, walked a couple blocks, and yeah, got some fresh air, a little exercise in. It's all I needed. All I needed. Let's see what do I have going on here. Let's see. I took some clips earlier. Okay. All right. So, in regards to the planty portion of our video, I'm talking about not neglecting your plants. This is like the PSA I'm going to be making, and that is in regards to VDD, which is vitamin D deficiency. So if you are someone who knows that when the seasons change, when it gets cooler, when the sun, goes to sleep earlier and also wakes up later, we tend to have a lack of or a decrease in vitamin D, which is like the happy vitamin. So because of that, this is something that I have to like be aware for myself. Although I would, say like I don't suffer with depression. I think like most people who are not diagnosed with depression, we do go through like random bouts of like sadness, right? Doesn't mean like we are clinically depressed, doesn't mean we are like up here, like off the chart, but we're somewhere where okay, normally, hormonal imbalance can happen. So be very mindful of what's happening with your body, what's happening with your mind, what's happening with your environment in order to make sure that you're caring for your plants, because no one wants to deal with going through sad moments, and those sad moments lead to us losing our plants. A couple of years ago, I went through a really insane like bout. And again, this was all around like the pandemic, COVID time, lockdown time. This was all around when I was getting an excess of plants that maybe I personally didn't have the time for, because I was like going back into the office, right? So I couldn't take care of like 250, 300 houseplants, you know what I mean? So now that I'm down to like 100 something, definitely, in my opinion, I have a collection that's manageable. I have a collection that I can handle. I have a collection that I'm not overwhelmed by. I have a collection where in one sitting I can actually water all my house plants, and it's not going to take me an hour. It's not going to take me like a half hour. And if it does take me like an hour, if it takes me a couple of hours, that's only because I'm choosing to prolong the watering. And when I say I'm choosing to prolong the watering, it'll be like a case where I'm soaking my plants and I only have certain amount of containers to put certain amount of plants in. So I have to like switch them out, let them soak for 10, 15, 20 minutes, then transfer something else, let that soak. So that will prolong the watering time. But if I choose to not let my plants soak, right? That's why I'm a big fan of either having like saucers under your plants, or having your plants in cash pose, or double lining your plants, for example, like this. If this wants to like not do that. For example, like this, it has this little plastic thing, but you know, the plant is inside of here. So stuff like that really does help decrease the amount of time that I actually take to water my plants, because all I do is I water it, and whatever's undering it is holding the water, and the plant's able to absorb what it needs. And if the plant hasn't absorbed what it needs, I'm not overwatering my plants, so it's not like pooling and just chilling in a pool, a puddle of water. It's chilling, in water that'll evaporate by tomorrow morning. So there are also plants that I do have that actually loves to pool, like my what is that, Hoya polyneura, loves that. My scindapsus, I find they love to like chill in water. They Zero complaints for my scindapsus. They love to be in water. But again, figure out what your plants like. Figure out how the plants react in your home, in your environment, because the same way plants probably would react in my home here in the East Coast in New York, it might not react, to you in the West Coast, where it's maybe warmer, drier, or something like, you can't take an oak tree and bring it to California. That's not going to happen. But you can't expect a palm tree from California to sit here in the outside in New York City in January, February. Like the palm tree is going to die. You know what I mean? So understanding what plants you have, understanding the environment that you live in, and understanding the kind of care that you can provide for your plants will definitely help them. Mm. Okay, let me go through the comments. I would love a white Christmas, so I could have that stereotypical like American TV sort of Christmas, especially since I live on the East Coast. On top of that, I would love to have Christmas in the wind, joyous time to yeah. This is snow. Yeah, that's my Christmas song. Ruth said, "What is your favorite color?" My favorite color, I have two: cobalt blue and fuchsia pink. Those are my two favorite colors. Love them. But I'm starting to really love like the yellows and oranges. but fuchsia, pink, and cobalt blue are my two favorite colors. Deborah said, exactly. Seasonal affective disorder is real. I take prescription vitamin D during fall, winter. Makes a huge difference. Yes, it does. And also, speaking of vitamins, all of this I'm saying, I am not a medical professional. I do not have a medical license. I am not a doctor, nor do I claim to be a doctor, nor do I say I specialize in anything. So, of course, do your own research. I'm just talking about things from my own self that I know about. And also, you all are speaking about things that apply to you too. So, the way that like vitamins work, though, and I guess like medication, for the most part, it's not instant. You're not gonna just like take the vitamin D pill and it's like, oh, instantly gonna go away. No, you actually have to like build a immunity or intolerance, a tolerance for it, so it actually could work. So don't say, oh, I'm like starting to feel sad. Let me take this and expect to feel better by tomorrow. No, you feel sad, you take it, tomorrow, take it the day after, and then eventually, it starts to like pile on top of each other and actually give you that added like vitamins and strength that your body was lacking in. So that's another thing. Miss Lady June says, I understand reducing the number of plants. Plants should be a hobby and enjoyable, not a job. Amen. A hobby and not a job. Unless it is a job. Unless it is a job. My main watering days is Saturday, but I have plants that need water midweek also. Same here, Ruth. For the most part, my watering days are probably Sundays, but there are plants that require watering, other days during the week. I also have, yeah, so depending also on the season, I water the plants like less frequently or more frequently. So I know my ficus, now that fall is here and now we're getting into winter, I know I'm not going to be watering my ficus like every week now, or every 2 weeks. I'm probably going to be watering my ficus once a month during the winter months because they're using way less water than they were during the summer. But I have like my Hoyas that are at the window, which I literally would have to water every single day because when they were like in terracotta containers, very, very well draining water mix, soil mix, which contained like plenty of perlite, plenty of bark, very well draining. Those definitely needed more water. Plus their positioning, they were like dead smack on this east facing window, getting that hot, dry deliciousness that it loved. But again, we're going into winter. My plants, again, over here live above a radiator. So my plant care is different for the plants that are above the radiator than the plants that are not by the radiator. So again, you have to figure out your home. You have to figure out what your plants like. You have to figure out how to keep them contained because plants, like human children, some people have allergies, some people don't. Some people like this, some people don't. You just gonna have to figure out to make things work. All right. Yes, Ruth, bright colors. You see my personality. No muted tones. Do I use self-watering pots? Miss Lady June asks. I have some self-watering containers. For example, I have this self-watering container. Right, so this actually lives in my kitchen. So I just put this from the wall. So this lives on the wall of my kitchen. So as you can see, like the back here. So what it is I have this like sticky thing that I applied on my cabinet, and it has like these little hooks, right, that are kind of like teeth. So the two little hooks, they actually like hook into this. So when I put it back on the wall, it lays flush on the cabinet. So this is like a self-watering container. So if I take it out of here, it has these little, you know, rope thingies that absorb the water, and the water goes in here. There's nothing in here, but it's really moist, really well watered. So I do have some self-watering containers. This is another self-watering container. I haven't used it yet, but I have it. So this is another self-watering container, but I needed the container to mix perlite for plants. So I just took the container, but you get like the point. It goes in here like so. I don't use a lot of self-watering containers, but I have a couple. I don't have a lot. I just have a couple. CJ says, trust me, a white Xmas isn't all that. When you have to remove it from the driveway and the roof, gross. But I think people need to invest in like electric snowblowers. Invest a couple hundred into something. Nobody wants to shovel. Nobody has time for that. Ruth says the plants on her patio get watered every other day. 100 degrees this summer. Yep. The summer was rough. It was rough. Deb says, I'm actually glad it's getting cooler and brought outside once in. Yeah, less watering. Headed to coast, so less work for my kiddo too while I'm gone. She was gonna swing by and care for them. Oh yes, I remember you're like house pet sitting for one of your friends. Have I ever seen the YouTube channel Unsolicited Plant Talk? She has Hoyas and greenhouses full. No, I have not seen that YouTube channel. Maybe I have. So, like, just the one thing about me, I'm like a houseplant content creator, but I am not a houseplant content consumer. Yeah. I love it because it's a hobby, but I really, believe it or not, like really ever watch plant content if I'm doing like research or like informational things for like my own knowledge, or if I'm getting a new plant and I'm trying to like, okay, learn some more care information about it. But for the most part, I don't watch much houseplant content. CJ said, I'm just glad my house never got raided because it's lit up like a Christmas tree with LEDs over over it on timers. Oh my gosh, that's dope. That is really dope. I'm actually really excited for Christmas this year, but I'm excited for Halloween. I started doing small Halloween decorations around the house, and there are a couple more things that I want to order, but I have to be smart about my money, right? So let's segue into the last topic of tonight's live. If you're still here with me, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, okay? Because, let me know if you're still watching. But the reason why I'm talking about having to like be smart with my money is, you all know I started this new job in July. Like, so the beginning of July, I started this new job. I left my old job at the end of June. I went from being a city worker to a government worker. If you don't know what's happening in government right now, there's a government shutdown happening. What does government shutdown mean? I didn't know because I never worked for the government until now. Government shutdown essentially means that the government is not trying to like fund certain agencies, which means that if there's no funding, there's no money to pay the workers. If there's no money to pay the workers don't got money. Okay. So, which is crazy. It's like, how are you the government of a country and you're broke? You're striking, you're shutting down. So pretty much today at work was just like all meetings. It was like meeting after meeting, lunch break, meeting, 15-minute break, another meeting, meetings and meetings, just letting us know about like, all right, the potential of maybe back pay, the potential of furloughing, the potential of not being able to qualify for other government benefits as like, a federal employee. So things like unemployment, things like food assistance, a bunch of stuff like that, you can't qualify for because of the job you're in. Um so that's that's going to be a very interesting thing for me to have to handle. But this is all to say, like, this is why it's important to be smart with your money. It's important to save what you can, when you can, if you can, right? And also having the ability to save, because if you can't save, you can't foresee situations like this. So I just want to like say, like, I'm just so blessed in my life that I was able to work this job for, the last 3 months now, even though I'm in the situation that I'm in. Hopefully it doesn't last long, but we got paid today. So at least I know, like, the next 2 weeks is what we're really just more worrying about. Miss Lady June asks if I'll be working and how do I feel about working and not getting paid. I think it's like BS, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. Like, no one wants to work and not get paid, right? Like, no one wants to do that, especially if this job is your bread and butter, your 9 to 5, what keeps the lights on. But they did say that, okay, even though we might not be getting like paid now, there is a possibility for us to, get that payroll paid as soon as like the government decides to negotiate what it needs to negotiate and create the budget for the agency. So I will be working, and they even like had meetings with us to pretty much just let us know that, okay, essentially come Monday. So I'm just gonna try to like enjoy this weekend, which I definitely can't because I'm so busy this weekend. I have so much to do both days. So I can't even just like relax and know that, okay, I'm going into Monday, you know, stress free because I spent the last weekend relaxing. No, that's not the case. This weekend is a lot, but we're gonna deal with it, okay? Again, I'm happy, thank God, I'm blessed. I've been able to like manage my money, you know, fairly enough, and hopefully this doesn't last long because no one wants to like, deal with that. But I'm very fortunate, like I do have great reliable people around me that I can actually, if I need to, I can ask for help if I need it. So I'm grateful for that, at least. I'm grateful for that, at least. But it's a hard knock life for us federal workers because the government needs us to operate, but the government itself really doesn't know what to do. And you're like asking upper management, and upper management honestly don't know because this is all new news to them too. They're learning things as we go, but it's like, listen, you're upper management for a reason. Like, figure it out right now. Give us an answer right now. Right this instance. Expeditiously. immediately. But we shall see. Fingers crossed it doesn't last long. We're not trying to have no SAG after 50 something weeks of striking. No one has time for that. And also, I guess like another question that one of the employees asked during like this meeting, where they're like, this meeting had like hundreds and hundreds of like people in this meeting. Another lady asked like, oh, what about the paychecks? So when we do get our paychecks, taxes, because if they're not paying us weekly or bi-weekly, whatever the payment schedule it is that you get paid. So let's say we're getting a month's paycheck in one paycheck, the taxes are going to be crazy. So now like they're like, oh, good question. We're gonna have to like talk to HR about that so we can figure out how we're gonna like, I guess, like distribute the checks. And again, this is all just like what ifs, because hopefully come Monday a decision. I don't know. Anyways, this is essentially where we're at right now. Taking it with, you know, taking it day by day. There's nothing that I can do. I'm not in charge. I'm literally like one of the smallest fish in the pond. So don't even matter how I feel or what I think. But yeah, I spent today doing like just believe doing my calculations. I literally today was Friday, September 29th. I paid all of my August bills today. I said August. I paid all of my October bills today. Cause I'm like, I'm just gonna, at least I know all of my bills are paid and I don't have to worry about the next month. I'll figure November, when November comes. But at least I know the month we're going into, I don't gotta worry about no rent. I don't gotta worry about no gas, no electricity. I pre-stocked up on like my pet supplies. Okay, we're good. So yeah, so I think I'm going to actually go ahead and end the live now, my salty peeps. I've been on here for about 53 minutes now. It was really amazing chatting up with you all. But like I said, we know we're going into the fall, where we're in fall season now. So we're going into the cooler, colder, darker season. Be mindful of yourself. Be mindful of your mental health. Be mindful of your physical health, because all of that matters. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not there mentally properly, everything else around you does not matter. Okay, so if you're someone that might have seasonal depression, look into what you might have to do. Speak to your doctor if you have access to a doctor. If there are maybe the like those little city MDs, web MDs, those little clinics that you can go to speak to someone quick, try to if you can as well. And just be mindful, cautious of your plants. Know that it's changing for them too. You might get some yellow leaves. That's normal. If you can see what's happening outside, there are no leaves on the trees. Essentially, your plants, if they're outside, they'd be doing the same thing. Okay, so humble yourself, because they're happy with you where they are. And if you have not, go ahead and get you the ingredients to make yourself a vampire's kiss. This again is so bomb. Vampire's kiss, delicious. And get some fresh air. Okay, let me look at the last bit of comments before I head out. And Good night, everyone. Good night, Miss Lady June. Good night, CJ. Good night, Felix. Good night, Deb. Good night, Ruth. Good night, Melvin. I'm just saying good night to everyone who commented. Good night, Life with 6 kids. I love you all. And I will see you next week. My ingredient better come this time correctly because we're not about to play with it. It's going to be really fun. The other things got here as they should, but that one didn't get here, so I'm annoyed about that. All right, my salty pecans. Again, if you haven't already, please give this video a big old thumbs up. If you liked it, a big old thumbs up if you liked it. Share, subscribe if you haven't already. Become a salty pecan. We're pretty awesome here. Follow me on my other social media networks at HauzPlant, HauzPlant. And I will see you on the next one. Let's get going. Bye. Good night. See y'all in October. Bye, salty peeps.